Dating after divorce is not for the weak because you enter with hope, you enter with excitement, you enter thinking, I deserve love again, and then boom, dating will show you your healing level. And I'm going to be very honest with you all. I've dated after divorce, I've gone on dates, I've tried, I've opened my heart, small, small. And my experience, rubbish. Not because every person out there is rubbish, but because I kept repeating something and I didn't want to admit it. So today, I want to talk to you guys about what shocked me about dating after divorce. The heartbreak pattern and why or what I've learned the hard way. Before people start getting angry, this is not a men are rubbish or nonsense video. This is not my ex is this, my ex did that video. This is about me, my choices, my healing. If it doesn't apply to you, no problem. Okay? So let's start the video. Let's jump. Get your popcorn, okay? Get it because I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about. So if you're watching and you're divorced, separated, a single mom, or even if you're in a relationship or you're tired, just know that you're not alone. And if you're watching and you've been judging divorced women like they're cursed, sit down. You might learn something, okay? Because some of the most heartbreaking relationships are not even marriages. Though. Some of the most heartbreaking relationships are the almost relationship you enter when you're still trying to find yourself again. Tell me about it. Just let me tell you about it, in fact, okay? So I thought I was ready, but dating exposed me. So let me start from the beginning. After divorce, you can reach a point where you're like, I'm okay now. I'm fine. I moved on. I'm ready to love again. And maybe you're not crying anymore. Maybe you're functioning. Maybe you're working, taking care of your kids, looking good, posting good pictures on Instagram, social medias. But dating, it will expose something deeper than looking good. You understand? Or looking okay. Dating will expose what you still tolerate. It will expose what you still confuse for love. Dating will expose what kind of attention you mistake for connection. Because that was my first shock. I was not as healed as I thought I was. I wasn't dating from peace. I was dating from a wound. And wounds make you choose familiar pain. Now, I'm going to share with you the pattern that I was attracted to. Heartbroken people. Here's the part I had to admit to myself. I'm drawn to people who are heartbroken, people who have been hurt, people who are still grieving their last relationship, people who have a sad story. Sad, right? And I know how that sounds, but let me explain it in a way that you would understand, like in a human way. When you've been through heartbreak yourself, you will develop empathy. You know what it feels like to be abandoned, disappointed, or betrayed. So when you meet someone who has that same, you know, broken look, you want to be the soft place for them. And my mind used to call it connection. But the truth is, a lot of times, it was just familiarity. It was me seeing their pain and thinking, I understand you. I can love you through this. I can help you. Ah, God. And let me say something that will annoy people, but it's true. Some of us don't date, we adopt. We pick someone that needs healing and we turn relationship into a rehabilitation center. We become the therapist, we become the encourager, we become the one doing emotional CPR. And because I'm caring, because I'm deep, because I'm naturally nurturing, I would start pouring. Then what happens? They start liking me too. Because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't like someone who is kind, patient, and understanding? So the feelings becomes mutual. Then we kickstart something. And it's always sweet at the first at the beginning because both of us are enjoying the comfort. But comfort is not compatibility. Comfort is not doesn't mean that we are good together. When two unhealed people start something, it feels like love until reality enters. This is where the heartbreak comes in because along the way, reality starts showing itself. You start noticing this. This person doesn't really know what they want. This person isn't consistent. This person is still emotionally tied to their past. This person likes the love I give, but they don't know how to give it back. This person is sweet today, cold tomorrow. This person disappears when things get serious. This person wants relationship, like relationship benefits, without relationship responsibility. You get? And that was one of the biggest shocks for me because someone can like you genuinely and still not be ready for you. Does it make sense? Am I making sense? Yeah, someone can like you, but genuinely and still not be ready for you. Sometimes someone can enjoy you and still not be able to choose you. And then the confusion starts because you'll be like, but we were good. But you said you liked me. But you were calling me every day. But you were acting serious. And they'll be like, I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not sure. I want. You deserve better. Or they will start becoming irritated by the same love they once begged for. So it turns into the painful stage where you're trying to make sense of somebody who doesn't even understand themselves. It's crazy. The shocks of seeing yourself repeating the same thing. This is the reality part. This is the part I want people to really sit with. Because at some point, I had to ask myself, is every day, is everybody I meet rubbish or am I choosing rubbish? And the answer was painful, but it saved me. I was repeating a pattern. I was choosing people who were emotionally unavailable, but emotionally hungry. They wanted love, but they didn't know how to sustain love. They wanted softness, but they didn't know how to give safety. They wanted care, but they didn't know how to be consistent. You understand? So, and because I'm someone who loves deeply, I would try harder, I would communicate more, I would be patient, I would understand, I would give chances. And let me call or tell you the mistake in that. Understanding is not a it's not a safety, it's not a safety strategy. Okay? Patience is not substitute for standards. So fixing someone feels romantic until it starts destroying you. I used to think being the one that helps someone heal is beautiful. Like, oh, I'm the woman that finally shows him real love. But now I have an unpopular truth. If you have to fix somebody before they can love you properly, you're already in trouble, my sister and my brother. Because healing is personal, it's a personal work. If someone is not already doing their healing, your love won't magically make them whole. Your love will just make them comfortable in their brokenness. Let that sink in. And when they start feeling better, sometimes they leave. Sometimes they become arrogant. Sometimes they start acting like you're too much. Sometimes they go back to what's familiar to them, which is chaos. And you'll be standing there like, so I did all this work for what? I did all this work for what? And that's when you realize you're not dating, you were sacrificing. You were not dating, you were sacrificing. Now, why does it hurt after divorce? Like, what does it hurt extra after divorce? Heartbreak after divorce is different because you already came from something heavy. So when you try again and it fails, whew, it can trigger old feeling. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe love is not for me. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm too much. Maybe I'm not the chosen one. I'm not choosing. Nobody chooses me. And the scary part is that sometimes you're not even crying because of the person. You're crying because it reminds you of your past pain. It reminds you of rejection. It reminds you of disappointment. I do not want to show emotions. So you're grieving two things at once. You're grieving the new heartbreak and you're grieving the old wound that never fully healed. Ah, the biggest shock, chemistry can be a trauma signal. This one changed my whole mindset, to be honest with you, because I used to think chemistry means this is my person. Well, chemistry can be your nervous system recognizing what it has always known. If you grew up around emotional inconsistencies, you might find inconsistency exciting. If you are used to chasing love, you might find unavailable people attractive. If you are used to proving yourself, you might find hard to get people irresistible. So yes, the dates can be sweet, the vibe can be strong, you can laugh and talk for hours. But the question is it peace or is it familiar chaos? Because I realized some people I called my type were actually just my trauma preferences. Yeah. So what am I learning now? What am I learning now? What is the turning point? So what I'm doing differently now is I'm learning to stop dating potential. I'm learning to stop falling for stories. I'm learning to stop confusing pity with love. Because being heartbroken is not a personality, it's a sad backstory, it's not a green flag. Someone being wounded doesn't automatically mean they are safe. Okay? Someone carrying emotional baggage doesn't mean the other person is the problem. So now I look for different things. You understand? I do not want to show pity anymore. I look for consistency. How they act when they are busy, how they act when I say no, how they act when I don't reply quickly, how they act when I have responsibilities, how they act about their ex, how they respond when I set boundaries. You know, these are the things that I look out for because a healed person won't punish you for having a life. A healed person won't make you beg for basic respect. A healed person won't enjoy you and then disappear like you meant nothing. The hard truth is, or that I had to learn or tell myself, is that this part of me, like this part is for me and for anyone that can relate. I had to admit that part of me was still trying to prove that I'm lovable. It's not a bad thing though. Like if I love this person enough, they finally choose me, and that mindset is dangerous. Like if I love this person enough, they'll finally choose me. That mindset is very dangerous because you end up choosing people who require you to perform. You have to keep acting. Sorry. You have to keep acting, you have to keep performing. And I'm not doing performance love again. You understand? Love is not a job. It's not a job interview. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to audition for commitment. If you don't know what you want, go and heal. Don't use me as a practice. Don't use me to practice. So, how do you date? How to date after divorce without losing yourself? This is advice that still one. So, if you're dating after divorce, please don't rush. You're not late. You're not behind. You're not competing with anybody. There's no need for you to be rushing. Also, don't start dating because you're lonely. This is another crazy part. Don't start dating because you're lonely. Start dating because your life is full and you want to share it. And please watch this one. Never enter a relationship with someone whose healing depends on your persistence or your presence. Because if your love is the thing holding them together, it will eventually become the thing that will like they'll blame when they fall apart. So let me get this thing again. Let me repeat myself here again. So never enter a relationship with someone whose healing depends on your presence. Because if your love is the thing holding them together, it will eventually become the thing they'll blame when they fall apart. Okay? So yeah, dating after divorce shocked me because I thought I was looking for love, but sometimes I was looking for a project. And every time I tried to heal someone, I ended up reopening my own wounds. I end up peeling open my wounds again. My wounds that is trying to heal or that I've healed. I just gonna reopen the scars. But I'm not ashamed. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm choosing differently. If you're watching this video and you can relate, I want you to comment. Do you also attract heartbroken people? Have you ever dated someone unhealed and it turned into confusion? What's the biggest shock you've had in dating after divorce? And please, if you're the one, if you're the kind of people that's still bleeding and you know you're not ready, heal first, please. Because innocent people are not baggages. Someone even told me that maybe that was why I'm lonely. No, maybe that was why I'm not getting love. Yeah, this is why I'm not getting love. You understand? Now, this person didn't tell me because she cared or anything. It was like a backstab. You understand? It was like a gossip. Didn't know that the other person would tell me. Maybe that was why I'm not getting love. Because this is exactly why I'm not getting love. I'm always attracted to people who are heartbroken, people who I feel like I can help. Let me heal you. Not like I go in to heal them with the hope of getting into a relationship with them. It's just that in the process of trying to heal them, trying to make them to boost their ego, trying to make them feel better, trying to, encourage them, they start liking me. You get? They start liking me. And because I'm not in any relationship or something, along the line, I to start liking them in a different way, not like as friends or, I to start liking them. And before you know it, wow, we think it's love. Why? We enter inside a relationship. But midway I realize that I'm doing all the work. I'm the one that is working. I'm fighting. I'm doing this one. There, 1 minute they are warm, the next minute they are cold. 1 minute it's just confusing. And then when you're trying to find clarity, you're trying to find answers. Everything now scatters. So this is it. But I recently realized that that was a problem because I didn't know what my problem was. I'm always trying to fix somebody. I'm always trying to make people around me happy. I didn't know that it was a problem. You understand? So, but realizing it now, that that is a pattern. It has become a pattern for me, and it's a problem. You understand? Do you think I'll still make such mistakes again? I doubt that. So, but it's fine. Okay, we learn every day, which is why I've decided to share my story here to encourage one people. Even if it's one person that is encouraged, I'm fine. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'll see you in my next video.